Mistake number 1. Friends' Central Perk couch was in the wrong place. Setup. Friends, the pilot episode, 1994. The 6 actors walk onto the set for the first rehearsal, and everything is wrong. The disaster. The stage crew had built Central Perk exactly as designed, but there was one massive problem. The couch was facing the wrong direction. It was facing the back wall. You couldn't see the actors' faces. The panic. The producers freaked out. They were supposed to start filming in hours. The director said, "We don't have time to rebuild the set. We're filming today." The solution. So they made a crazy decision. Flip the entire coffee house backwards. The couch, the counter, the art, everything. The couch now faced the windows. The problem? Those windows were supposed to be at the back of the coffee shop. The accident. But having the couch face those big windows created the most iconic sitcom set in television history. Bright, open, cinematic. Every reaction shot was perfectly lit. The impact. That mistake couch position was copied by every coffee shop in America. Starbucks redesigned stores to have window-facing seating because of Friends. Urban planning changed. Architectural design changed. Interior designers made it a standard. A last-minute set disaster became a cultural revolution that you can still see in every coffee shop you walk into today. Mistake number 2. Star Trek's doors were never supposed to sound like that. Setup. Star Trek, the original series, 1966. The USS Enterprise needed automatic doors. Futuristic, sleek, silent, state-of-the-art. The mistake. The sound department was supposed to record smooth mechanical door sounds, professional, scientific, but the sound engineer forgot to remove the swishing sound effect he'd added as a temporary placeholder. The accident. Nobody noticed until the episode aired. The whoosh sound was completely wrong. Too organic, not mechanical enough. It sounded like a person going whoosh with their mouth, because that's literally what it was. The embarrassment. The producers were mortified. This wasn't the futuristic sound they wanted, but it was too late. The episode was broadcast. Millions had heard it. The legacy. That accidental whoosh sound became the signature sound of Star Trek. Every series used it. The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Discovery, Strange New Worlds. 58 years later, they're still using that forgotten placeholder. The impact. Sound designers across Hollywood copied it for their sci-fi shows: Stargate, Battlestar Galactica, The Expanse, The Mandalorian. One forgotten placeholder sound effect, literally a guy going whoosh into a microphone, defined the audio identity of the entire science fiction genre for 6 decades. Mistake number 3. The Office almost canceled after 6 episodes. Setup. The Office US version premiered in 2005. Critics hated it. A pale imitation of the British version. The ratings were abysmal. The mistake. NBC scheduled only 6 episodes. That's it. The network was ready to cancel it. The show was dead in the water. But then, they made a scheduling error. The accident. Someone at NBC accidentally scheduled it right after Super Bowl 41 in 2007. Stress relief, the post-Super Bowl episode. The network executives thought, whatever, throw it on, nobody cares about this dying show anyway. At least something has to fill the time slot. The miracle. 23.8 million people watched. It became the most watched episode of the series, ever. The show exploded overnight. The network immediately renewed it. The impact. The Office became the most streamed show in America for 5 consecutive years. It defined workplace comedy for a generation. It saved NBC's Thursday night lineup. It launched the careers of Steve Carell, John Krasinski, Mindy Kaling, and BJ Novak. It generated billions in streaming revenue, all because someone made a scheduling mistake and accidentally put a failing show after the Super Bowl. Mistake number 4. Breaking Bad's Pink Teddy Bear. Setup. Breaking Bad Season 2. Vince Gilligan wanted to build tension throughout the entire season with mysterious flash-forwards. The mistake. They shot these cryptic black and white scenes of some massive disaster. Body bags, hazmat suits, emergency responders, debris everywhere. But here's the insane part. They shot them before deciding what the disaster actually was. The panic. For months, the writer's room had no idea what they were building to. They'd committed to this huge catastrophe on camera and had zero plan. They were trapped by their own footage. The pressure. Network executives kept asking, "So what's the disaster?" And the writers kept saying, "We're figuring it out." Translation, they had no idea. The solution. Mid-season, a writer joked about a plane crash during a pizza lunch. Everyone laughed nervously. Then someone said, "Wait, what if that's actually it?" They reverse-engineered an entire season-long arc around a pink teddy bear falling from a plane crash caused by Walt's actions. The impact. That pink teddy bear became one of the most analyzed symbols in television history. Film students write dissertations about its symbolism. Critics call it genius foreshadowing. It won them an Emmy, and it was completely improvised because they painted themselves into a corner and had to write their way out. Mistake number 5. The X-Files mythology arc was completely improvised. Setup. The X-Files, 1993. Creator Chris Carter had a clear vision. Standalone Monster of the Week episodes. No serialization, no complicated plots. The mistake. But in the pilot, they added one tiny detail. Mulder's sister was abducted by aliens when he was 12. It was just backstory, character motivation, one line of throwaway dialogue to explain why he believes. The accident. Fans became obsessed. They demanded answers. Who took her? Where is she? What's the conspiracy? The network saw the ratings spike whenever they mentioned it. So they told Carter, "Make this a thing. Make it big." The chaos. Carter and his writers had to create an entire mythology that they were making up as they went, season by season, sometimes episode by episode. The scramble. They added the smoking man, the conspiracy, black oil, the syndicate, colonization, super soldiers. None of it was planned. They were literally inventing it in the writer's room, hoping it would make sense later. Spoiler alert, it often didn't. The impact. But that accidental mythology became the blueprint for every serialized drama that followed. Lost, Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, Stranger Things, Westworld. The entire concept of serialized mystery box storytelling exists because of one improvised line about a missing sister that Chris Carter never intended to explain. Mistake number 6. Steve Urkel was supposed to be a one-time character. Setup. Family Matters premiered in 1989 as a spin-off of Perfect Strangers. It was about the Winslow family. Normal sitcom, wholesome family values, completely forgettable. The mistake. Episode 12. The writers needed a nerdy neighbor for one episode, just a quick joke character. They cast a 12-year-old Jaleel White as Steve Urkel. He walked on set, did his lines, "Did I do that?" The studio audience went absolutely insane. The confusion. The producers were confused. It's just a nerd character. We've seen this before. But the audience kept screaming. They had to stop tape 3 times because of the laughter and applause. The accident. After the episode aired, fan mail flooded the studio. Thousands of letters, phone calls, people stopping the cast on the street asking, "When is Urkel coming back?" The network saw the ratings spike and demanded, "Make him a regular now." The takeover. Steve Urkel didn't just become a regular. He took over the entire show. By season 3, he was the main character. The show that was supposed to be about the Winslow family became the Urkel show. The opening credits changed, the storylines changed, everything revolved around him. The impact. He was supposed to be in 1 episode. He ended up in 217 episodes. The show went from being about a Chicago cop family to being about a nerdy kid with catchphrases. Family Matters ran for 9 seasons, 8 of them dominated by a character that was never supposed to exist. Jaleel White became so typecast that he couldn't escape the character for decades, all because of one casting decision for a throwaway role. Mistake number 7. The Fonz's leather jacket was banned. Setup. Happy Days, 1974. The show's breakout character was Arthur Fonzarelli. The Fonz. Cool, smooth, iconic leather jacket. Except the problem. ABC network executives hated the leather jacket. They thought it made him look like a criminal, like a gang member, like a hoodlum. They said, he can't wear that on a family show, so they banned it. The rule. Arthur Fonzarelli could only wear the leather jacket if he was physically standing next to a motorcycle. That was the compromise. Because if he's near a bike, he's a motorcyclist, not a criminal. The rebellion. So what did the writers and producers do? They put motorcycles in every single scene. The garage set permanently had a bike parked there. The diner parked one outside the window. Arnold's bathroom almost put one there too. They challenged the network at every turn. The absurdity. For an entire season, every script had to justify why there was a motorcycle nearby. It became a running joke in the writer's room. How do we get a bike into this classroom scene? The victory. Eventually, the network gave up. The Fonz's leather jacket became so iconic that ABC couldn't fight it anymore. By season 3, he wore it everywhere. No motorcycles needed. The impact. That leather jacket is now in the Smithsonian Museum's National Museum of American History. It's recognized as one of the most iconic costumes in television history. It defined cool for an entire generation. It influenced fashion for decades. And it almost didn't exist because network executives tried to ban it. The pushback against that ban created one of the most enduring symbols in pop culture. So, there you have it, a backwards couch that redesigned coffee shops across America, a placeholder sound that defined sci-fi for 60 years, a scheduling error that saved one of the greatest comedies ever made, a teddy bear that was reverse-engineered into genius storytelling, an improvised mythology that created serialized television, a one-episode nerd who hijacked an entire series, and a banned leather jacket that ended up in a museum. The next time something goes completely wrong in your life, remember, some of the greatest moments in television history were total accidents. Sometimes the best ideas come from fixing catastrophic mistakes. Sometimes the things that almost ruin everything become the things that define everything. Which mistake blew your mind the most? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more TV secrets that nobody talks about, the behind-the-scenes chaos that created your favorite shows, subscribe and hit that notification bell. Trust me, you won't believe what's coming next.